What is happening at J Gamer Dude here, and Ubisoft has had a rough 2023 and their 2024 looks so much worse. Now, I'm not going to be talking about Assassin's Creed Shadows, which a lot of people are flogging like a dead horse, even now until this, pretty much to this day and pretty much up to release and even past release. No, this time around, I'm talking about X-Defiant pulling a Hyperscape. Now, with that being said, before I get into the details of the article and the news in question, please like the video if you liked it, subscribe to the channel. I am aiming for 300 subs, and yeah, by doing that, that pretty much just sends a happy signal to YouTube to say, hey, I like these videos, please recommend me more or recommend them to other people who might like similar stuff like myself. So that would certainly be appreciated. I also do have a Patreon link in the description below, so if you want to toss a few bucks my way and help support the channel, because I am certainly not monetized at the moment, but hopefully I eventually might be in the future. Who knows? I don't know, but that would certainly be appreciated as well. But with all of that being said, let's actually jump into the news. So the game is absolutely not dying. X-Defiant boss rejects the claims that the Ubisoft shooter is struggling to find players. Now, the reason for this, there's actually a good reason for this, and it's the fact that Hyperscape has actually pulled an X-Defiant has pulled a Hyperscape. So the reason being is that before Hyperscape died, which was a free-to-play battle royale that was made by Ubisoft, pretty much, and X-Defiant being a PvP shooter, what they tried to do at Ubisoft headquarters was like, okay, in order to get more people to play Hyperscape, how about we give $9-10 to every player who's willing to give the game a shot? And that's ultimately what they did. But it wasn't able to bring enough players in, and they were losing too much money, not enough players, and so Ubisoft ultimately killed Hyperscape, the sort of sci-fi battle royale shooter by Ubisoft. And now we're looking at X-Defiant, and in its year 1 update, room for improvement, technical and content aside, they did offer, actually it should be, yeah, it's mentioned right here, so let's actually read it word for word here. Ubisoft's recent offer of $9 of worth of in-game currency for playing X-Defiant didn't exactly turn those game in trouble impressions around. Why would you bribe the players from playing your game? So let's actually open up this article and give a little bit more details, because I might get the information wrong, but Ubisoft's X-Defiant gives you $9 in fun bucks, or the in-game currency, if you log in a few times over the next few weeks. So this is what the actual details are. So you get 100 coins sort of every second day, I suppose. Yeah, 100 coins every sort of like second day. Lower, and it's just part of like login daily bonuses and things like that. So Hyperscape did a similar thing and it died. Looking at the past and trying to then adapt that to what is happening currently with X-Defiant, it does seem kind of concerning, because X-Defiant isn't the most popular game, but everyone on the internet does have this very negative mindset that, hey, if it's a multiplayer game and the players, you know, the amount of players that are playing it go down by 1 or 10, like say if 10,000 people are playing a game and 10 less people are playing, I can understand why people are going to say the game is dying, because we've seen how extremely successful games are and how high their numbers can be in terms of actual player count. So to then look at a game that's like a tenth of that, maybe it might be successful for Ubisoft, who knows. But ultimately, it really doesn't help optics when you then try to provide a similar type of campaign as you've done for an already dead game. So the question then becomes, is X-Defiant actually dying? And to be honest, when Ubisoft then comes out with a quote or a comment, it kind of does need to be taken with a grain of salt, because nowhere in hell would a company ever say that their own product is dying. So he says, I want to quickly address the status of the game. Is the game dying? Mark, who I take to be the X-Defiant executive producer, Mark Rubin, wrote in the update, "No, the game is absolutely not dying. We know there are things we need to improve, like netcode / hit registration and adding more content and progression, but the game is doing well. We just want it to do better, and we do that by addressing concerns of our community, which has always been the plan. Ubisoft is very much behind us and has allocated more resources to the team in order for us to do that." Rubin's remarks were prompted by several reports saying that XDefiant is in a bad way, including an Insider Gaming article claimed that it's on borrowed time. The recent comment from mid-cap partners analyst Charles Louis Planade, who said early in September that the interest in XDefiant has not held up despite its strong launch, and it did launch quite strong. In fact, it was deemed to be fairly popular. And what also doesn't help matters is, hey, if we use public information to try and gauge an idea of how XDefiant is doing, it's not really all that encouraging when, say for example, the game that not being on Steam means we can't really see Steam numbers. But numbers on Twitch Tracker, which monitors viewership on Twitch, isn't encouraging, being 200 for more than 203,000 concurrent views in May of 2024, which was around release time, now has fewer than 1,000 people watching. But that by no means is a one-to-one comparison. And comparing it to Valorant, currently 101,000 people are currently watching Valorant, so it's not necessarily a bad sign, and there might be some amount of, hey, look, we're trying to extrapolate from different pieces of information that might not necessarily correlate with each other, but it's not to say it's not completely unrelated, so to speak. And now with, Call of Duty coming out, because this was also a potential Call of Duty competitor, XDefiant rather. Not even a Call of Duty competitor, it's more of a, what was the free-to-play for Call of Duty called? I can't remember exactly, but it's supposed to be a competitor to that. And with it's nearing the end of Season 2, and Season 3 is being teased to have a new faction appear. And of course, factions in XDefiant are all based off of different Ubisoft properties. It just really depends on how things are going to go ultimately in the end. Is Ubisoft's XDefiant dying? We really don't know, but it's only a matter of time before we can tell. And honestly, if Hyperscape is anything to go by, especially with how they were offering $10 of free currency in order to try and get you to play, who knows where everything is going to fall ultimately in the end. And with a similar thing being offered as daily rewards in XDefiant at the moment, it doesn't seem encouraging. And with Ubisoft not doing particularly well, I think it's fair to kind of assume that what are the actual facts of the situation, that we won't truly understand until Ubisoft do start talking about their financials later on with their stakeholders. That being said, however, let me know what you guys think about all of this in the comments below. Like the video if you liked it, subscribe to the channel, aiming for 300 subs by the end of the year. And with all that said and done, I do upload every day, so I'll see you guys tomorrow.